buy the ones that are very, very big, the large companies. When I say large companies, the large market caps. Why do I say large market caps? Because we are still driven, yung stock market, driven pa rin siya by institutional funds, local institutions, foreign institutions. And they buy the same thing. They also sold down the same thing. So what does that mean? They will also come back and buy the same thing. If they buy back the same thing, yun yung mga stocks na yun yung aakyat also. Guys, this is part 2 of our video series with entrepreneurship business guru, Dodong Cacanando. And this time though, if you did not watch the first video, he gave his, I'll coin the first video siguro, business predictions in the new normal, something like that. That's what we talked about. He said what are you supposed to do in this new normal, what businesses will thrive. In this portion naman, I don't know what his questions are, but I hope it's investing kasi yun lang din naman maaambag ko. So, nakakaba pag mayaman na tao magtatanong sa'yo, so dapat matalino yung sagot ko. So, let's do this, Dodong Cacanando. I will try to answer your questions with the best of my abilities.
You always ask me, ano ang epekto ng pandemic na to sa market or sa negosyo? Ano naman ang nagiging epekto ng pandemic na to sa stocks? You know, I've seen it drop. Bumagsak pa siya to 4,000. So, ako alam ko, the effect will last longer. So why should I go to stocks? What's the benefit today of putting some money sa stocks?
I'll backtrack muna before I answer that. Number one, people are saying that because mababa may opportunity. But you said also, if you're an entrepreneur and then tatago ko na lang yung cash ko, do not invest just because there's an opportunity. Do not come in just because tingin mo mura or aakyat siya again later on. If you think may threat sa cash mo, your cash flow is threatened, kahit anong opportunity, do not invest. It's very, very important. Pinag-usapan natin in the first video to be liquid. It's very, very important to stay in cash right now. So no matter how much opportunity is there, and then you think your cash flow will be threatened or you don't know how it will go in the next 6 months or a year, don't invest it. But if you have cash, your cash flow is not threatened, then on top of that, you have excess pa, that's what you put in. It's also the same as the answer that we did in the first video. Is it a question whether magkakaroon ng recovery or not? The answer is, we will recover. We just don't know what shape it will be. Will it be a very, very fast recovery? Will it be a slower recovery? Or it will go up and then it will swing and go down again? Pero magre-recover siya. Now, you said that similar to your profile, entrepreneur, busy, wala masyadong time bantayan, my answer to that is this. You have two options. Under the premise na magre-recover, kasi kung hindi siya magre-recover, di dapat hindi tayo nag-invest. If we don't think we will recover from all of this, dapat we should not be investing at all in the stock market. While we're filming this, the market has gone up already more than 50%. So at least people have context that we're not as cheap as where we were 3 months ago. Let's just make that assumption na bumaba siya ulit. When there's a lot of fear, they can buy the fear, but wait until everything recovers. And then that's where the appreciation will happen. Second option that they do, while they don't know what will happen, they don't do anything. They stay in cash. And then they come in once things gets better. I asked you for signals in the last video. Ako, tinitignan ko, unemployment. If unemployment starts to drop again, then it becomes better. Titignan ko rin yung mga default sa bangko. If the non-performing loans start to drop or isn't as significant, then I think it will get better. Then I will look at also most likely the GDP and corporate earnings. If the corporate earnings become better also, then that will be my signal. Yung problem mo lang dun, if you wait, the prices in the stock market are not as low. So you have two options. You come in when there's a lot of fear, and then you wait for it to recover, or you wait for it to recover, stay in cash, and then you come in. Mas mataas nga lang siya. However, in both those options, there's one thing that's very important. You need to learn how to be patient and wait while all of this is happening. Yun yung take ko. It's under the premise that we believe it will recover.
Siguro ang dilemma lang ng entrepreneur, pag inegosyo ko pa rin to, baka mas mabilis lumaki, but in the same time, I agree with you, sabi mo pag sobra. Now, I'd like to invest in stocks. Pero napag-usapan na rin natin to, not all industries will do well. So what do you think are the industries that will still do well, where we can put the stock para alam natin, dalawa na lang na tanong. Still do well, pero may industry na it's hurting today, pero will recover when everything recovers? What industries are there?
Totoo yun na in every crisis, number one, not everyone is hit as badly. There will be some companies that will be hit more, and there will be some companies that they won't be super good, but they won't be super bad also. So as an investor, it's your responsibility naman to do your due diligence. Which do you think will be better the most? Which will be surviving? And then which are the ones that are doing well? So sa tingin ko, the ones that won't do so well in this side, airlines, anything connected to the airline industry. You also mentioned it in the previous video. Hotels also. But to quantify it, hotels connected to tourism. Kasi Ayala Land owns SEDA, and SEDA ngayon, majority of their hotels puno. Puno sila because the BPOs are housing all of their employees there so that they don't go home anymore. Anything related to mass gatherings won't do so well also. Convention centers, but anything that will trickle down to those items won't do so well. Then you mentioned it in the previous video, luxury. For example, looking at it from an investment standpoint, SSI, luxury, pure gold, basic necessities. So that's how I will segment it. Halos pareho sila na nasa retail, pero mas matatamaan yung SSI. In the same way, nasa gitna, Robinson's Retail. Robinson's Retail, may department stores sila, meron silang supermarkets versus SSI. I think Robinson's Retail will still do better versus SSI. I think oil companies will also be hit. Nag-negative siya before kasi mas madaming supply, walang bumibili. And kahit ramdam naman kahit ako it's almost 3 months, I haven't gassed up yet. As we start to reopen, tama naman na there will be more people traveling already and it will start to pick up. But you can't really expect it to be better than 2019 levels because the stock market, you compare it year by year. So automatic 2020, majority of the companies that you will see already right now won't be as good as 2019. Tapos ito pa, those that cannot pivot to sell online, those that cannot pivot to sell via delivery will be hit also. Then last two that I think are hit this year, banks, because there will be lesser people who will take loans. There will be people who cannot pay their loans. And connected done also is, I think there will be lesser people who will be buying houses. There will be lesser people who will be buying condos. And because of that, they will be taking lesser loans. And it's evident already by the fact that there's already a projection that 20% of OFWs will lose their jobs. If that's $6 billion yearly, that's $6 billion that could have been in the Philippines buying all of these things. So those are the things that I don't think will do so well from a business standpoint for 2020. Pero if you're looking at it also, you don't have to look at it from a broad sector kasi may mga companies dyan that when everything gets better, they will be the first that will go up. So you can look for discounts, the ones that kasama dun sa lahat ng sinabi ko. Pero once this is over, dahil sobrang laki ng binaba nila, nabili mo siya ng discount, when they start to recover, kikita ka dun. The ones that are doing well, or at least from a business standpoint, mas okay sila. Supermarkets, groceries, basic essentials. So that essentially very direct yun, pure gold. Anything telco related, very direct yun. Globe and PLDT. And I've been saying this even before the lockdown started. I've been a big fan of digital currencies. Paymaya, GCash. And because of the coronavirus, na mapipilitan lahat mag-transact ng ganun kasi hindi ka makakapunta ng bangko because of that, ayaw mo maghawak ng bills kasi it spreads the virus more. And it's already true They've already disclosed that the uptake for people who opened accounts from GCash and Paymaya have gone up Online transactions from banks also have gone up. So I think that will be the upside. Pero lahat yan gumagamit ng telco In the middle lang, these are your utilities. Meralco, Manila Water, mas mahina yung uptake ngayon kasi may mga businesses na sarado. Pero yung sa residential, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yun You will see residential bills, yung aircon nila mataas ngayon kasi everyone is staying at home. So I think yung factor na kailangan ma-consider ng tao are three things. And ito naman yung drivers ng economy the past years How big will build be in the next 2 years? Kasi if the government ramps up construction, that could be a leg that could push up some segments of the economy. Second is the BPO industry. Because nagtitipid yung buong mundo, will it help outsourcing na mas madami mag-outsource lalo sa Pilipinas in the next years? Then third, because of social distancing, a space that could have 100 people will now have 50 na lang. So that means some companies will rent more, will get more spaces. Pero, yung kapalit naman nun, because magtitipid din sila, some people will enforce work from home also. So it's still too early to tell, but those are the things that I will look for. Then lastly, Pogo. Pogo has driven up the property market. Pogo has driven up spending, consumption also. I don't know what will happen to it yet, but what happens to it will help me determine also what will I decide on in my investments.
Sabi mo, these industries that are hit, meron nag-iintay dyan na when it goes up, those industries will parang recover quickly. Kung sinabi mo oil, hotel, airlines, banks, yung bank ang magre-recover dyan quickly, no, when everything goes up again, di ba? Tama ba yon?
Ako, I like banks because our banks in the Philippines are very, very conservative. Sa lahat na nangyayari, wala kang nadinig na issue na nagkaroon ng insolvency, na may problema yung bangko na magsasara yung bangko. Kahit at the height of all of this, never nagkaroon ng issue na yun because all of our banks here are very, very good. They already disclosed this March pa lang. What they did was, linakyan na nila yung loan loss provision nila, meaning they already put it that this is the amount of people that won't be able to pay their loans, and they already included it already as part of their books already. So, totoo yun that banks will take a beating, but because our banks have very, very strong balance sheets, because they're very well run, magkaka-problem lang naman kung may credit crunch eh. Magkaka-problem lang naman if walang liquidity eh. Magkaka-problem lang naman kung gusto humiram ng tao, walang mapahiram yung bangko. But the BSP has been doing a lot of measures that there's a lot of money. So until there's a problem with that, I don't think banks will nakakatakot yung mga bangko. And I agree with what you said that because they are positioned well, when everything gets back to normal, people start borrowing again, people start buying the cars, people start buying the condos, the houses again.
Ang banks today are undervalued. Parang they're cheaper than what their true value.
Depends on the bank, number one. Number two is all the projections that people had for 2020 and 2021. They were under the assumption that the economy was good. Ngayon, every assumption that was for 2021 and 2022 will have to change. So, totoo, they're much, much lower. Kasi there's two ways to look at it eh. Their growth and their assets. So, kung tinatanong mo kung bumagsak ba sila in such a way that their assets were more valuable already, totoo yun, lalo na nung March.
Pag nangyari yung build, anong mga industry ang maapektuhan dyan o parang magbe-benefit dyan?
A big chunk of GDP kasama doon, government spending. Nag-negative yung GDP natin for the first quarter, and there's a big assumption that second quarter mag-negative yan. Part na naging negative yun also was because consumption was low. If consumption will be low, one way to pull it up is government spending. In conjunction to that, syempre construction companies will help. Second is, if meron kang build, magkakaroon ng employment. Pag may employment, you will help pull up also consumption. Kasi the difference between construction is, for me, and Alvinang also said this, open air siya eh. You can do social distancing while you're doing a lot of construction eh. So, wala siyang ganun threat as compared to other businesses and other industries, and you can do it in parallel kahit may mga social distancing protocol. So, I think it's something kasi that could be done very, very fast at this time, and then malaki yung trickle effect niya. And if you've been looking at the current trend, the government has been borrowing. Then they're trying to find measures also on how to increase taxes also.
Pero di ba, Marv, for employment, they're also trying to attract investors from Japan. So they're also trying to bring down our taxes so that we can attract more of these investors. Pero you're saying they're also looking for ways to increase taxes. So magbabago ba yung strategy nila sa corporate tax na to bring it down, or just look for other areas to tax?
I think they're finding other ways, other areas na pwede nilang i-tax to increase revenue. Kasi nung nag-lockdown tayo from a revenue perspective, since sarado yung business, wala silang makukuha collections from that. If 90% of the economy, 90% of the businesses are closed, there's no sales, and dun pa lang, yung VAT pa lang nun, di ba, may taxes from every sales transactions that you have. If that's zero multiplied by any percentage is still zero. So I think that's why they're trying to get additional sources of revenue.
To entrepreneurs like us, ano ang maganda mag-invest? Maybe some suggestions that are very specific. You talk about banks. Sabi mo, banks will always be solid. And I asked you, are they undervalued today?
Same lang. What I said earlier na tingin ko okay. Those are the ones that I would suggest to people. Pero just to have context, medyo umakyat na siya. So, I really like telcos pa rin because of data. Telcos, because everything that you will see right now will be driven na, yun, the fact na nagmi-meeting tayo via Zoom it means that this is using data. People will travel less, but they will use data more. Spending will still be there. It will be there. Magbabago lang kung ano yung pinagagastusan nila. And because people are staying more at home now, kung meron man silang travel budget, yung travel budget yun will be used to fix the house. Yung travel budget na yun will be used to upgrade their internet. Because dati hindi mo pinapansin na kahit mabagal internet ko, wala naman ako sa bahay most of the time. Since ngayon, nasa bahay ka most of the time, you will try to find ways on how you can make your stay at home more comfortable. Buy the ones that are very, very big. The large companies. When I say large companies, the large market caps. Why do I say large market caps? Because we are still driven, yung stock market, driven pa rin siya by institutional funds, local institutions, foreign institutions. And they buy the same thing. They also sold down the same thing. So what does that mean? They will also come back and buy the same thing. If they buy back the same thing, yun yung mga stocks na yun yung aakyat also. Ayala Corp, SM Prime, Ayala Land, BDO. Those 5 stocks comprise 45% of the index already. Since they comprise 45% of the index, you can look at majority of the mutual funds, majority of the UITFs, yun yung binibili nila. So once they start buying more again, they will just buy back the same ones. If they buy back the same ones, it places a demand on that. Yun yung mga aakyat. And true enough, ngayon na while we're making this video, umakyat yung index. Pero habang umakyat yung index, ano yung umakyat? Sila rin. Kaya nga umakyat yung Ayala Land to 36 because that was the one that was bought up. SM is close to 1,000 already again. Ayala Corp is 700 plus again, coming from below 400. So that could be a prevailing theme. You don't buy them just because they're popular ones, they're big ones. It's because we're pretty much institutionally driven. That kung may bibilin sila, they will just buy back the same thing. Number 4, I've been dabbling into US stocks, and we talked about this offline that the US stock market has been doing so well. So ganun din. If I believe in data so much here sa Philippines, I believe in tech companies doon. Pero anything that will be part of the new normal, I think should do well. Pero yun lang, if you don't have access to US stocks, Philippine stocks.
So what's driving the improvement in the index?
The stock market is forward-looking. Pinakaayaw ng investor sa stock market is uncertainty. So, you put the GCQ in, it removes a bit of that uncertainty. It gives them confidence to invest. So, kahit may mga risk doon, pero once bits and pieces of that uncertainty is removed, people start to buy. Ngayon, balik na rin naman natin. When that uncertainty is gone, yung kapalit naman nun, mahal na yung market. Bumagsak yung market sa Philippines last year kasi trade war yung issue Pero before that, issue naman ng 2018 inflation, there will always be an issue. So, as long as may issues dyan, may uncertainty doon. The bigger the uncertainty, the bigger the drop. The larger the uncertainty na matanggal, mawala yung uncertainty na yun, people have confidence to invest. It does not mean that the economy is better. It just means that more people are willing to buy it because they think it will be better.
The US election, will that bring fear or will that bring excitement?
I don't know, pero alam ko nagkakagulo kasi doon leading up to the November election It's causing riots and looting. And from syempre an economic standpoint, people don't like that. Yung ibang industries, regardless of what's happening in the States, they will still make money kasi some of their business, the US is so big that some of their businesses are outside the States. But I'll tell you the impact of it. There was a time, a few days ago, there was news na si Trump magde-declare ng martial law. When that happened, Bitcoin's price went back to 10,000 because people got scared that with what will be the effect of that on the dollar, and they wanted to move their money away from the dollar, and it went to Bitcoin. Totoo yun that whatever happens in certain economies has impacts on certain asset classes. The stock market is short-term sentiment driven, then it reflects its value long term.
Okay, so sentiment lang siya. So pag may mangyari ulit, it could also drop again.
Oo, that's where your decision as an investor will come in. Kung gusto mo ikaw mag-drive ng decisions mo, what's more important above and beyond what stocks you buy are the rules that you put sa stocks na binibili mo.
Ako, isa lang rule ko pag invest sa stocks I asked Marvin Gormo.
No.
Okay na.
Part of the rules that I have was I like stocks that give a lot of dividends. And that's why they have to really watch. They have to really watch that right now because there are some companies na nag-slash ng dividends.
I like listening to you. I'm learning and gives me an idea of what to do. Salamat ha.
Totoo, kahit mayaman pala pwede pa rin matuto, no?
Ano?
before
mayaman lang ako kasi wala akong utang. Okay, I don't have a negative net worth. Pero hindi kasi maraming pera.
Kita nila sa camera yung yung mga pinya mo na plantation sa likod. Joke lang. Pero before we end, you have a webinar. Can you tell people more about that? And then I'll put the link below for those who want to sign up, and then your YouTube channel.
Today, because as people lose their jobs, sabi ni Marvin, 30% of the OFW will have to come home because the other countries are going to also recession. I'd like to contribute to the recovery of the country by teaching people how to do business. So meron akong dalawang webinar this June. One, I would like to talk about how to start a business of your own. It is for everybody. People know me as a farmer, pero I believe my principles in business are for everybody. And ang pinakamahirap na part ng pagninegosyo is parati paano magsimula. I in fact believe that many of the money is lost in the beginning kasi hindi mo alam ano gagawin, and that happened to me. So help me help you. Watch out for that seminar called Starting a Business of Your Own. And then one of the exciting businesses that I think we should go into is farming. You know, the importation of food will be restricted because other countries will also have their own struggles. I heard that rice from Cambodia, Vietnam, and Thailand has increased because they're also struggling. So it's a nice opportunity for all of us to feed ourselves. Yun na, again, ang hirap magsimula, mahirap parating magsimula. So I'm coming up with a webinar also called Starting a Farm from Scratch. And I will tell you there that you don't need a lot of money to start a farm. In fact, it is detrimental for you to start a farm with a lot of money. Kasi pag nagkamali ka, natatapon pera mo. So I created this so that I can help people create opportunities for themselves. And it will be my contribution to the recovery of the country. Lastly, I have a YouTube channel where I share my principles doon, hoping I can continue to help people. I hope you subscribe to it. Sabi ni Marvin, mag-subscribe kayo sa kanya. Huwag kayo mag-unsubscribe sa channel ni Marvin. Yung mga subscriber niya, just subscribe to me. Okay na ako doon. Happy na ako. So Marv, thank you for giving me the opportunity, the forum to share. Thank you for the time you spent with me.
Galing. So guys, I'll put the link below, Dodong's YouTube channel, his webinars, and then everything else is in the description. All of the links to books, to signing up for whatever, they're on the description below. And I hope you guys got a lot. And minsan lang natin ito makasama, no? Sobrang busy niya kasi sobrang galing niya talaga. And ayun, ngayon ko lang siya ulit nakausap since March na last video. So ganun ka-importante yung oras.
Ngayon wala ako pinantin.
Ganun ka-importante yung oras. So I hope you guys learned a lot, and I hope that whatever principles got shared here helped you. If you have not watched the first video with Dodong Cacanando where he gave his business predictions, forecast, insights on what he thinks will possibly happen and what you can do also to earn in this new normal, you can just watch that. It's the videos before this, and I'll also put the link below. So thank you so much, and I hope that this video helped you. Thanks so much, Dodong, Cacanando, and to everyone. Trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon. Bye, everyone.